Hi, my name is Cheryl. Welcome to my channel, Homeridge Studio. If you are a subscriber, hello, thank you very much. Love you guys. If you are not a subscriber, consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. And if you like my video, give me a big thumbs up because it does help my channel grow. Anyway, I have two fall DIYs to show you. I have 3 boxes of fall stuff left, and I had these 2 things that I've been wanting to show you and share with you for a long time, and I finally got around to it because I love these pieces. These pieces are actually going into my house. So with all that being said, let's craft. So for the first DIY, I found this wreath form, and I found it at Hobby Lobby, and I just loved it so much I had to pick it up. It was 40% off. I think it was like $3 or $4 or something. So I do have the wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, but for some reason I don't know, they didn't speak to me. I didn't do any projects this year with them. But this I loved, and I wanted to make something very simple, but understated, and I have the perfect spot in my house to hang this. So I found these picks also at Hobby Lobby, and they were 40% off, and they were just simple, and the colors were speaking to me. So I thought, I'm going to pick up, I think I picked up 6 of each of them. So you could do a couple things. You can floral wire them on if you want. I crisscross them. Or you can glue them if you want it permanent. Here I'm just kind of playing around with the layout. And I like the white on the edge with the cream color, little flowers underneath, and then the more rusty colors. And they look like little soft pine cones almost. And I know the Dollar Tree has these too. They're different colors and they're a little bit fluffier, but for some reason, like I said, I loved these. When I saw them, I knew I had to have them. And so I'm just kind of piecing them together, and I pulled the picks apart, and I'm just gluing them wherever there's maybe a little hole or it needs a little something extra. This is so simple, and it literally took me maybe all of 10 minutes to do, and that wasn't even putting it together. It was just pulling the supplies. And then these are from the Dollar Tree, and I think they're like little miniature mums. And then I had a bunch of ribbon, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, and the one that I chose is this one. I believe this is from Dollar General, and it's beautiful. It's wired, but it is the flimsiest ribbon I've ever had. It was very difficult to work with, but I loved it, and I thought I was going to give it a try. So I folded it over, I think, 4 or 5 times. And so I thought it needed something a little bit more, and I thought maybe give it a little bit more of a feminine touch and throw some of this lace ribbon in, and that is from the Dollar Tree. And you fold it in half, you find the middle, and then you cut a little itty bitty teeny tiny notch in both ends. And I'm so sorry that this is out of screen, but I think I was having some extra moments with my eyes, and I had to pull it up closer to my eyes and look at it, and wasn't paying much attention about keeping it in the screen. So now after you get the notches cut, I just took some jute twine, also from the Dollar Tree, and I just tied it in the middle. And don't pull this really super tight, not the stuff from the Dollar Tree anyway, because it will break. It kind of just snaps. And I just put a double knot in it. And then I clipped it off, leaving enough of the jute twine so I can tie it onto the wreath form, that is. And I'm just kind of fluffing it, and now I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put it, on the side, on the bottom, on the top, and then I think I decided the top, and there it is. At the end, you don't see this, but I'm not real happy with the way it is, and I took the bow right off. Anyway, so for our next DIY, we're going to make this. I already pre-made this one, and this is cream colors, and the pumpkin is green, like a mossy green chalk paint. But we're going to make it a different color. And here's what you're going to need. Some flowers of your choice, a sign from the Dollar Tree, any long rectangular sign, some rope, beads, burlap, pumpkin, antique wax, and chalk paint. So now we're going to start with the sign, and I'm just going to clip off all the little extra pieces. And that cord there, I don't use that for this sign, but sometimes I use them for different projects or different signs. So I take it and I poke those little sharp pieces out the opposite way so I don't have to cut it off. I don't know why, it's just goofy of me. I'm one of those people that save everything. Pull off, the eyes and the bow and the feet down there. And I have a little container that I put all these little pieces in, and every time I'm looking for something special, I open up that container and see if there's something in there that I can use. So anyway, if that makes sense, I don't know. Anyway, this is Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. I'm shaking it up, and I love this stuff. I use it all the time. The Plaster color, I've gone through probably 3 containers since this year. And I am just putting a really good glob on, and I put some wax paper under it, not to damage my cutting mat even more with paint and stain and what have you. And I'm showing you, normally I don't show myself painting, but I'm showing you that I'm painting the whole entire sign with a really thick coat, and I'm also painting the sides. And the brush strokes should go straight up and down because I only put 1 coat on it. Now we take the pumpkin from the Dollar Tree and basically remove the stem, and then we cut it right in half because it's hollow on the inside. And I already did that, and this is the other piece from the other project, or the earlier sign that you saw, and I painted this in a peach color. I know it looks the same color as the sign here, but it's not. This is a peach color, and then that sign is more of a white color. So then I'm just taking an X-Acto knife and cutting out just the top of it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it like a round, because we're going to be covering all the ends up with the rope. So now I'm taking some of the antique wax, and I'm just going to kind of dry brush it all over the pumpkin. It doesn't matter, how you put it on, just kind of dry brush it. And if it's a little thicker, it doesn't matter because you can always wipe it off with that baby wipe. Now we're going to stain our letters, and these I got from a special Dollar Tree here called Debbie's Dollar in Michigan, and I think it's in the city of Washington. But if you can't find these pieces, the Dollar Tree has all those wood words. They also have the wood letters, and let's see what else. You can stencil. If you have a Cricut, you can use one of those. I just got a Cricut. I don't know how to use it yet, and I'm super excited to do that, so I can show you more projects with that. Anyway, so I stained all of the pieces here, and we're letting the wood piece and the letters dry. And then now I'm clipping this rope, and this is from the Dollar Tree, and the end has tape on it, so I'm trying to get that tape off of the end there. And then I measure from the top of the pumpkin to the bottom of the pumpkin, and then I cut that part of the rope off, so they're going to be individual pieces, and then I unravel each piece so it's one single piece, and then you glue it from the top all the way to the bottom. As you can see here, I did half of it from the top all the way to the bottom, and it doesn't matter if it's messy because we're going to fix it at the end. And this is what it looks like when it's done. And the top, obviously, you know, is where the flowers are going to go. So the opening is the top. And so at the end, the rope just kind of mushes together. So put on your finger protector, put some hot glue on it, and just kind of smush that rope into itself. And I did the same with the top too, but it doesn't matter because the top we're going to outline with rope. And also those sides, you don't see it here. The sides we're going to put rope around that to attach it right to the board. So now that this is somewhat dry, pretty dry I think, I did distress it with the antique, just dry brushed it, because there's only one coat of the plaster on it, so I wanted to make sure that you couldn't see that there was only one coat. And when you distress it like that, it makes it look like there's more coats and you can't tell, you know, that it's one thin coat. And then you just take that pumpkin, and I'm sorry this is out of frame and I keep doing this to you guys. We're gonna find the top of the frame, whichever you want to be the top, and we're going to make sure that the open part of the pumpkin goes on the top, or the bottom, the closed part actually goes on the bottom, so the open part is on top, because that's where we're going to put our flowers in. I hope I didn't confuse you with that. And now I'm just going to hot glue it on. I kind of don't put the hot glue gun right on anything that's styrofoam because it will melt it. It kind of sinks right into it and then it doesn't stick. So I kind of hold it up a little bit, drizzle the hot glue on it, and then place the piece onto the wood. And so now we're going to put the wood pieces, and I measured this out with a ruler to make sure that I got it straight. So I have to turn it around and look at it because it was hard trying to do this upside down. And I think right now it looks a little messy, but it all comes together, especially when you put the flowers in that pumpkin. You don't see the imperfections of it as much, because you know those Dollar Tree pumpkins are not perfect. And then after I got this straight, I put E6000 on it. You could use super glue. You could use hot glue. I think I probably did a little bit of both, but I like the E6000 because you can kind of move them if they're not perfectly still. And see, it took me kind of a while to do this and eyeball it. So here's what it looks like when it's complete. And now we're going to take the burlap, and I didn't put anything in those little holes there because I'm going to put the burlap over them, and then we're going to put wood beads on top of those so you don't see. So I just cut the burlap so I could wrap it around the sign. And then I just hot glued it. So I hot glued it in the back, and then see the front is still not tight. The problem is when you hot glue burlap like this, you can see the glue through it. So I would probably do Mod Podge or a glue stick, but sometimes you can still see that through. Not much Mod Podge as much as a glue stick, and definitely hot glue. But I just put a little dab like over those holes, and now I'm just picking out the different kinds of beads that I want to use, different colors, different shapes. You could use half beads if you want. You can use little metal clips. You just clip off the end. And so here, for me, it was easy because I just put the beads right on top of the holes that were in the side. The other side, I had to kind of measure it. Eyeballed it, measured it, and I just put a little pencil mark where, to glue the beads. And then you just hot glue those on. And now it's time to put the flowers in. And I just, I use the floral block that you get at the Dollar Tree. And this comes apart really easy. And I just smushed it down into the pumpkin. And I put some hot glue in there too. And it's probably best to put the hot glue on the board and then put the floral on top of it, as opposed to putting the hot glue, I'm losing my voice, excuse me, on top of the styrofoam, because again, it'll melt it. So I just shoved a whole bunch of that stuff in there until it was good and packed, because we're gonna poke some flowers in there. And I love this little vacuum cleaner that I got from Amazon. Some people have they have a ladybug and all these cute little ones, but I asked my husband to order one for me, and he just got me a plain blue one. But that's okay, because it works awesome and I love it. And I like the color. I start with the leaves first. And I usually pull my picks apart, most of them, because it's just easier to place each individual leaf, where you want it. And you just put as many in there as you want. And the first layer is going to be more flat. And now I'm going to put the flowers in, and they're going to be raised up a little bit taller. And these are all from the Dollar Tree. The leaves, the picks, everything. And I think the picks are from last year, but the leaves are from this year. They had a lot of really cool different colors this year. And so now I'm kind of gluing them down so you don't see the imperfections on the pumpkin. And then there's these little pumpkins that were on the picks. And I just clipped off the end because the stem was really long, and I just took a little Sharpie and colored it in so it looked like a little brown stem. And this is out of screen too, and I'm sorry. Next time I promise to do better. And you just kind of eyeball it. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no perfect way. Whatever looks good to you. I usually try to put, one color leaf on one side and then one color on the other side, but not super perfectly. Maybe one's kind of sticking up and then one's kind of sticking down. And then just whatever you have in your stash. I had some berries. And I think the key is the color. Just make sure that the colors all go. If you're using, these peach colors, you could probably put some orange in there, but I wouldn't put like super bright orange. I like more of the muted colors and, like this pine cone and stuff like that. I think that matches. But obviously, it's up to you. It's your personal taste. I wouldn't put, burgundy or blue or anything in here. I kind of try to stay with the same color scheme. And I think that's kind of what makes it. And also, You want different, I don't want to say layers, like different heights. You want some things that are low, some things that are high to give it interest. And just keep on adding in. Add in flowers, more leaves, berries, pine cones. You could add a bird in here if you wanted to, a butterfly, whatever you love. If you really love birds, like I love birds, I didn't put a bird in this one, but if you really love something, use it. If you love a color, if you love a certain pick, use it, because every time you see it, it's just going to make you happy. This is what it looks like. And we are done. This is it for the fall crafts for me, and I'm going to dive right into Christmas. So my next video should be Christmas stuff, maybe a Thanksgiving thing, I'm not sure yet. I did post one on Instagram, but anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I have tons and tons of ideas that I'm so excited to share with you. Thank you again. Happy fall, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving, and pretty soon it will be Merry Christmas.